Good evening. Good evening. This is Shiver with the Evening Chat. I would like to thank you all for tuning in. And today, for our special guest, we have Miss Nicole Brown, also known as Miss Nikita,
Yes.
from Smokin K's Barbecue. Yay! Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and so to begin with, for most of our viewers who don't know anything about your restaurant, could you please give us a brief history of Smokin Q's?
Yeah, it's actually Smokin Q's, and we opened up on December the 12th of 2012. So we've been in business for 3.5 years. We are a barbecue and grill, so we have different selections of barbecue, and we have a North Carolina style. I do want to make that specific. So yes, it is a North Carolina style barbecue.
That's interesting because I'm from Carolina. So could you explain to the viewers who might be from Carolina which part of Carolina or what does that mean, Carolina style barbecue?
Yeah, for us, what that means, we definitely use a lot of vinegar. And we do use a little spice. And I know that, of course, you guys take your barbecue very seriously.
We do.
Now, we feel at Smokin Q's Barbecue and Grill that you can have that just as is, and it's perfectly seasoned. And we do have 2 in-home sauces that we use. One is a tomato base, which we call our Kansas City style sauce. And you're going to get with that, like I said, it's more of a sweeter taste, and it also has that spice in there. And then we also have the a North Carolina style. It's more vinegar based, but it has a mustard taste to that. And so that is what we would call the Q sauce. So we do have those 2 sauces for you.
So for the listeners that don't understand Carolina barbecue, so you have Carolina is split down to half. And you have Eastern Carolina barbecue, which Miss Nikita, can I call you Miss Nikita?
Yeah, perfectly fine.
Which is a vinegar base. And then the western part near the mountains, like after the triangle or the capital, you have tomato base. So a lot of people, there's a bit of a rivalry in Carolina when it comes to who has the best barbecue.
Yes, I would definitely agree. I've had several customers, and they're quite hip to their barbecue. So, yes, I would definitely say that. I would agree.
Okay. And so can you tell us and the viewers, how did your restaurant get started?
Well, yeah, I can say that I am only half of Smokin Q's. So I do have a fiance, and he's actually the owner as well. And he is more focused on his entrepreneurial skills. I know in December he wanted to do something in the community, and we wanted to have the community come in and just enjoy what we have. So what better place to do that than in a takeout restaurant, you know? So you're going to get that atmosphere. You're going to get that home feel, you know? You're going to get to know the community on a first-name basis because our community is so small. And that's what really drove us to do that. And so what he did was he had a chef come in. He learned everything that he could from this chef. He had his degree in culinary arts, so he learned from the finest. And so he perfected that, and here we are today, 3.5 years later, still going strong in the community.
You two sound like a really good team. What is your inspiration for starting a restaurant and continuing it?
I would definitely say the love that we get in the community is definitely inspiration for me. Every day, you know, what better way to do something in life than doing it with your family? And, you know, in Smokin Q's, I have my mom, I have, you know, my fiance there, I have friends that I also employ. And so it's fun, you know, and I love that. Going to work, serving the community, seeing smiles on their faces and seeing them enjoy the food that we cook, that is definitely my inspiration.
Interesting. So is your husband from Carolina? Is that how he's so good with cooking?
Actually, no. The chef that he trained under is actually from North Carolina.
Okay.
So he definitely got that from him. So the community asks that question a lot. So that's definitely a question that we get asked a lot.
Okay.
But he is actually born and raised in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Portsmouth?
Yes.
Wow. Well, this is kind of like a melting pot, like the Hampton Roads area. You have people from everywhere, and now I want to try the food. Now I can't wait to come try it.
Great. I can't wait to have you there so that you can actually have that experience, that personal experience.
And one more question about the business you and your fiance have. You guys seem to value community and being together as a family. What would you say that your values are with the restaurant and what you want to give to your customers?
Yeah, I think that the values are quality and, when we give what we give to the community, we definitely give a certain type of quality. When you come to Smokin' Q's, you're going to get that fresh taste. You're going to get our time and energy. We get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to strike up that smoker. When we make all of our sides that are homemade, you're getting the best of seasonings, and we put our all into it. So we feel that when you come in from your hard day of work, that you deserve that type of quality. Not something that's pre-packaged and, or full of preservatives. You're going to get that fresh quality taste at Smokin' Q's. We put a lot of time and energy and love into that.
That's interesting because when people do taste food, you can tell the difference between if someone makes good quality food and they put their heart and soul into it rather than someone who is just doing a job. And so even when the food is, not to say that your food is, but even if the food is not that good, but if a person puts their heart into it, it's like you can taste the love. So
I totally agree with that. I go by three things, and it helps me throughout the day because I also serve at Smokin' Q's. So preparation, and you want to be organized. So preparation, of course, quality and good taste, and the way that something looks, the way that it comes across, it definitely adds to that because it could be good, but just the presentation alone adds to that. And I think that that's something that is very important to me at Smokin' Q's. And I when I train my staff, I tell them, even though, we've got a lot of good, feedback from the community, I definitely want to prepare the food a certain way and have it presented in a certain way. So it has to look appealing as well, taste, great as well.
interesting. Now, I'm pretty sure people would want to know about the menus. What's special or unique about the items that you have on your menus?
Yes. Okay. People ask this question all the time. So I get new customers in and they're like, what is the best thing on your menu? And of course, I want to say all of it. But I would have to say the most popular item on the menu would have to be the Q sandwich. And that's basically our signature house pulled pork served on a brioche bun. And you can get that with any of our sides that we served, and we have a lot of homemade sides. Too much for me to list, so yeah.
Homemade?
Yeah.
Interesting. So before I get into that, we have some footage that our producer, Mr. Tony, has went out to get. Let me see if I can work this right. Okay. Oh, it's. Um. Yes, please help me.
I got you.
We had a good time too.
Yes, we did. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna hit play.
Press spacebar.
Well, it should be playing. Okay, and we're ready. So they should be seeing something right now.
They can see this, but it's not playing.
Yeah.
I apologize for the technical difficulties.
Technical difficulty. We literally just had it. Okay, let's come back here. Let's turn it off. Let's try again. Okay. And let me see if it'll play. Okay. Well, let's let's come back to it later. Maybe it just needs to reboot or something.
Well,
Oh, there we go.
there it
Okay,
is. It's going.
There we go.
Great.
Shiver. I'm here with our upcoming guest, Smokin Barbecue and Grill. And so I have the pleasure of being here today, and just wanted to check the place out, see how they service their customers, just get the full experience of the restaurant.
You just ordered with the pulled pork sandwich, and you asked about the pulled pork sandwich. So, with the pulled pork, there is a process. We season the pork with our house rub that we make ourselves. Then, from the seasoning is the smoker process, which is behind you. And
Can y'all see it out there? Yep, there we go. We'll get a
From
better
there,
look. We'll get a better look later.
it's brought in. We have a third process to where it's in the oven. From there, we take all the seasonings to season it and give it that North Carolina flavor.
Okay, let's see.
And then that's how we do it. We pull it and it's ready for the sandwich.
How you doing, Jill?
I'm alright.
Good. Where you from?
Iowa?
Iowa.
Yeah.
You from Iowa? I don't think I know anywhere. Oh, how's a girl like you all the way from Iowa get to Virginia?
My dad was in the Navy. I'm retired now, but.
Yeah. Well, thank you
You asked
for the
about
service. So, you work for a Smokin K
with the
Barbecue?
pulled pork, there is a process.
Cool.
Just started working here.
You just started working here? That's all right.
season
Looks like you're doing a good job. So, how you like it so far?
It's good. I like that we make everything fresh, and the barbecue's really good.
What kind of food do they have out there in Iowa?
Just behind you.
Like, what's the
Corn.
corn?
Corn.
Yeah, you eat a lot of corn. That's
Yes.
it. Like any
And we snap beans and stuff.
beans
And fish. My family, because there's a lot of lakes in the area,
Yeah.
so it's a big fishing area.
Okay. So corns, beans, and fish. You come here and then you work at this Southern home cooking food. So would you feel like a big difference? So you say you tried the food too. So what sort of you feel like separates their sandwiches or their collard greens or their delectable from like any other restaurant or service you've experienced before?
They season it when they cook it. I think that's pretty good. And
Yeah.
everything's like made here instead of like shipped in. So I think it's
That's
better.
what's up. Okay, look at that, what we have here. Oh my God.
That was yours again.
That makes me want to eat meat again, y'all. It looks amazing. So what we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna try it out and then we'll get back to y'all. So you just tried out one of the famous Smokin K barbecue sandwiches.
Yeah,
How was it?
it's amazing actually.
It was amazing?
Yeah,
On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate it?
9.
That's pretty big. That's up there. So a 9, not an 8.5, but a 9. Okay. What were some of the qualities that you say had that made it so good?
So what I think is like the pulled pork.
Yeah.
Like some people have pulled pork and it doesn't feel fresh because it's not juicy. It has
Right.
juices to it. That sandwich had the perfect balance of juice on it.
It's funny you say that because I had a conversation with the owners, and that's one of the things that they mentioned was that the food was always made fresh. So my man's just killed that. That speaks volumes though. When you come to a restaurant for the first time and you tear into it like that, do you feel like y'all get some really good customers who come here consistently and enjoy the food? That's good.
We have a lot of regulars.
Oh, look. What's going on, y'all? Evening chat. What's up, Shira, Danielle? Hey, I see y'all back there. Today, we're at a very special place, near and dear to my heart. We're in my hometown, Portsmouth, Virginia, a.k.a. P-Town. And not only that, but we're here at Smokin Q's Barbecue and Grill. And I have with me right here the lovely Nikita Brown, owner. So,
Hi.
go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, like Antonio said, we are located in Portsmouth, but it is the Churchland area of Portsmouth. So some people get that confused, but here we are. And basically, Smokin Q's Barbecue and Grill is a barbecue takeout. So we have anything from pulled pork to ribs, crab cakes, fish, and salad for all you vegans.
Hey, that's what's up. See, they looking out for. Thank you. Listen, I came in here And I've seen some people killing it. I mean, it was just fingers and all. Like they said, forget the utensils, we going ham. That speaks volumes. That says a lot. I got my man's with me. He behind the camera right now, but I caught some feels with him. He killed that sandwich in 2 minutes.
Yes.
I swear to God,
I was
minutes.
a witness, and he said, thank you.
One of the things that he mentioned was that it felt fresh. The food felt fresh. And I know we talked about that a little bit. How
Yes.
you guys love to make everything fresh. It brings like that feeling, right? To get that real experience. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, basically, we have a routine here at Smokin' Cues, and we also believe that people should have quality. And so what we do is we get up every morning around 4 o'clock, we strike up the smoker, and we prepare our food. Every day, we give the best quality of ingredients and the best produce. So that's what we're about here at Smokin' Cues.
If there's one thing you would want your customers to take away from Smokin' Cues Barbecue,
I would love for them to take with them that home feel. Here at Smokin' Cues Barbecue and Grill, it's not fancy, it's just a place where you can come, kick back, relax from a hard day of work or hanging with the kids or the family and just chill. We want to give you that sense of comfort along with the comfort food.
Listen, y'all, it's beautiful here. You know what? I feel home. I feel right at home. Not only because I'm in Port P-Town, but because the atmosphere and the experience from the food. You know, everybody know where you're at. And
yeah, for sure. So we are located in Portsmouth, Virginia. Again, we are Smokin' Cues Barbecue and Grill, located at 3218 Portsmouth Boulevard. And we are open, our hours have changed, so we're no longer open on Mondays, but we will be here for you from Tuesday through Sunday, and that's from 11 until 8 p.m.
dope. All right, y'all, check this out. So I know y'all want to see more, so we're going to bring them on the show this Friday, the evening chat, 6 to 7. Who we have? Nikita Brown, Smokin' Cues Barbecue and Grill. So y'all stay tuned. Peace.
Peace.
Oops. I should have did the audio, but that is a bit of Smokin' Cues. And as you can tell from the customer that we interviewed, he was really impressed with the quality of food that your business has.
Yeah, he seemed to enjoy it. And Antonio was right. 2 minutes, I saw him.
So can you tell us where do you get your meat?
Well, we do. We would like to support local distributors. So we use local distributors for our meats, local distributors for our produce. So we have go to farmers markets, things like that. But there are guidelines, so we have to use specific distributors.
Interesting. And so I've been looking at your menu. You have Carolina-style pulled pork dinner.
Yes.
The smoked picnic platter, which has a bit of everything from your menu. And how do you prepare your pork? What's your special way of preparing it?
Well, there's a process. And as we know, for you guys that love barbecue and have ever tried it at home, it's very time consuming. So we have a smoker that we use, and it's right outside our parking lot there. It sits. And that meat is, we season it, and the specific cut is it's like a pork butt. And so that meat we marinate with our house rub, and then from there we let that sit a day. Okay?
Why a day?
Because we feel that with that injection of that vinegar and everything, it encompasses that flavor when you bite into it. We feel like every step or every measure that we take into preparation, it adds to that, that final bite. So this is just, some of the things that we do. And so the marination, the sitting in there with that rub on it, and then from there the smoker. That is time consuming right there. So we definitely have to watch it. And the meat, the wood is very important because, as you know, our slogan is "Real men cook with wood," and we've used certain types of wood, cherry wood, oak wood, maple wood. We also feel that that gives the flavor as well. And so, with that being said, from the smoker, we bring that meat in. We finish it off in the oven for about 2.5 hours or so. And there is when it really sits in its own juices and its own fat. And that juice just sits and it makes the meat very moist and succulent. And that's why the customer gave the description that he did. So, yes.
And that's interesting because, as everyone knows, a pig is full of fat. So when you're pulling the pork, how do you go about removing the fat or know which type of fat to use?
Yes, so we use the juices from the fat. We do also, with pork, you definitely want to watch. We cook for the community, so we also want it to be as healthy as possible. Of course, everybody likes a little fat here and there, but cooking for the community, we also want to be health conscientious, so we do remove that. And so the juices from the fat is what we like to have in that meat. So we definitely remove that fat so you're not getting the bad portions of the pork.
Okay, but the good stuff.
Yes, the good stuff is what we like to serve.
And so you talked about being health conscious and so a lot of people like a lot of salt or a lot of flavoring. Would you say your food is salty with flavor?
It definitely has that flavor. But one thing that we found out by cooking with the community, we definitely have to watch that. So we have a different clientele. So we have the older community and we have the younger community. We have children that we have to, worry about, and people that are, probably on medications and things like that. So we want you to love our food, but it's definitely flavorful. But as far as a lot of sodium and things like that, we try to eliminate. So yeah, we definitely watch the seasoning, but you're definitely going to get that soul food flavor,
Interesting, because on the menu you have Southern style green beans, baked 3-cheese macaroni, pit smoked baked beans, and then you have smoked turkey neck. Now, I'm from North Carolina, and my she's a pro at turkey neck, and I love turkey neck.
Yeah.
And so your inspiration for all of this, like you said, it goes back to the community, and it just reminds people of what their mom would cook.
Yes.
And your husband, who's the chef of this restaurant, he can't be everyone's mother. So how does he get this inspiration? I know you mentioned earlier that there was a cook from North Carolina.
Yes.
But you also mentioned that the community is a big supporter of your food and they love what you cook.
Yes.
How does your husband learn all this stuff to know how to reach out to people?
I think with any business, you definitely want to know who you're serving. And our community, they're definitely vocal about it. If they're not in agreement with something, they definitely have a tasteful way of letting us know. Here at Smokin' Q's, we definitely love any type of feedback. We're new to this. We're not we haven't been in it for a lot of years, but the community helps us with perfecting what for our business. They help us with that. And so if they have any suggestions, we're definitely open to hear those. Yep.
Wow.
And that's how we've definitely perfected things throughout the years.
You don't hear a lot of that from business owners, that they want the feedback from their customers.
Yeah, that they're who we're serving at the end of the day. We definitely value our customers. We definitely do. I mean, at Smokin' Q's, you come in and we definitely try to know you by name. So we definitely take their opinions.
That's a lot of names.
For sure. Trust me. I mean, you'd be surprised at how many you can, remember, because they come in so often. And that's another thing with the experience of Smokin' Q's. Even though we're such a small business, people come in just to get that personal touch. It's a nice thing to, you're coming in to get a good sandwich, but when someone knows your name or, they're like, hey, or greet you and give you that personal touch, it just makes you feel that, that much more important, and you feel good about spending your dollar there, so that's what we like,
And I've noticed as a consumer, you work hard for the money you get. And so you want to make sure that you get the biggest bang for your buck. Well, that's how I view it.
Yeah, I do too.
So in order to go somewhere and to eat at a restaurant, what I've noticed is that I go to places where I can't make or replicate the food at my house. So I'm pretty sure that people come there, they're like, I can't make this at home, so I gotta come here. And do you feel that way?
Oh, yes, for sure. I mean, I love certain franchises and I love going online to see how I can replicate that because quite often we don't have the luxury of going out all the time. So at Smokin' Q's, what we do, we offer our sauces. So you can actually come in and purchase the sauces that we make homemade.
Hang on. If you do that, aren't you worried that someone might copy that and make it, or do you have your own sauces brand?
Yes, well, not quite. What we're doing is we're getting a patent on it, but it does have those list of ingredients listed because we have to provide that. But no, we're not worried about that. The community, they love the sauce. They ask me all the time, I have to have this stuff. It has to be bottled up. So we provide them. We also do catering services. Okay. So we provide them with our catering as well.
Wow, interesting. And so on your menu, you also have Mama's traditional Southern fried chicken, spicy garlic wings, and candied wings. And when I think of candied wings, I'm thinking of maybe something glazed over, like a donut. Is that kind of like how it is?
That's pretty much what it is.
So sugar on chicken.
Well, it's not sugar. You do have a sweet substance, which is like a honey. So it's kind of like once that's chicken, you're not getting fried chicken, you're getting baked. So once it's baked, you're getting that,
so it's not fried, but
nope,
baked.
Yep. And then the reason to why we call it candy is because it has this shiny glaze.
Okay.
So yeah, it's also a description of the chicken, the way that it looks. Mm-hmm. But of course, candy, the way that it tastes, is kind of sweet as well. So yeah.
Ooh. Oh man.
They're my favorite. And that house rub is like used throughout the menu on everything. So that's the secret,
So the secret is love and spice and everything nice?
Yeah, I guess so. That's what we would say. Yes. Perfect.
And so I'm a big fan of learning about different cultures and everything. And you talked about how the kitchen uses different spices.
Yes.
Do you get inspiration from other cultures? Like India is known for its spices like turmeric and garlic.
Yeah, I definitely would say that. The chef, he uses a lot of spices. Remember, we cook for the community, but one selection on the menu that he has fun with to where he can allow that inspiration to come out with the spices is his honey sriracha wings. So people who love spice, they're going to get that. So he makes his own sriracha sauce and adds that sweet flavor to it. Now, that's not on the menu. That's a new item. So be sure to look out for that. So that's normally a special. And when you come in, our cashier, she normally informs you what our specials are. So, or we'll have it written on the board. Yep.
And then I know earlier we were talking about some beer smoked chicken.
Yes.
So what's interesting about that, the reason why I brought that up is because when you're serving the community, you have people with different taste palettes. And so you have your light beers, which a lot of people consider water, and then you have your very heavy beers. How do you find that balance or that mixture when cooking?
I would say that we use a light beer. You're just getting that taste, that flavor. And like I said, with that also has a process. We allow that to sit in that beer, get that flavor, and then from there, you're putting it on the smoker. And it's so succulent and moist. I've had it myself. It's perfect, And to those, you can taste the flavor, but it's not an overwhelming flavor of beer.
That was going to be my next question, because you have some people that don't like to drink beer because of the taste.
Yeah.
And so even though people who don't like to drink beer, they will still find this delicious?
They will still find it appetizing. Trust me. I'm not a beer drinker, and I love this dish.
Oh, interesting. How long do you marinate the chicken in the beer?
That is marinated for a day and a half. Yep. So half of that day, once we take it out, we're taking it out to the smoker. So the marination process is very important to us.
Wow, that is a long time.
Yeah. Yep.
You can tell that I'm not a cook. So I'm learning a lot from you. And we have another portion of the show that we're trying to work out. Is we have viewers type in questions. So we have a question here.
Okay.
The first question that we have is, what is your favorite dish on the menu?
My favorite dish would have to be the spicy garlic wings. I like spice, and I just think they're perfect. We have that extra crunch we have with the celery. Mm-hmm. So I just find that like the perfect balance. It's not too much heat, but it's just the right amount. I love it. And so that would be my favorite dish on the menu. And I love the pork too. Come on now. It's so hard to choose.
But spice. So what would you consider not too hot? Would you say like little kid spicy or like Indian? Not to be stereotypical, but their hot and spicy is different.
It's so different.
Yes.
I understand. Not habanero pepper spicy, but I would say if we're talking about comparing it to that level, I would say this is on a milder basis. So
okay.
It's not too much heat. I believe a toddler could eat this and enjoy it. It's not too much. And that garlic, I love garlic, so they're perfect.
Garlic makes everything better.
Yes, it does. I agree.
Let's see. More questions. Well, let me check with my producer. We're supposed to have people call in as well. We're trying out something new.
Oh, cool.
Trying to spread our wings and soar new heights. Mr. Tony, do we have people calling in? Do we have callers calling in?
Oh, just keep going until they call.
Oh, okay.
I would like to add that for the caller that does call in, we at Smokin' Q's would like to offer them a certificate for a free picnic platter. And what that is basically you're going to get everything that is pretty much meat-wise that is on our menu. So you're getting the taste of the beer smoked chicken. You're going to get a taste of the ribs. And yes, they are baby back ribs. And then you're going to get a taste of that pork. So it comes with cornbread, so that southern taste to it as well. And so you're going to get the 2 sauces with that and coleslaw and any 2 sides of your choice. So I would say this would feed 2 comfortably. So those who want a upcoming date coming out on us, then this would be perfect for you.
This is like worth like $20.
25, yeah.
25, yeah. And so I might just call. Can I call?
I think we're not in it, you know. So
I understand.
Yeah.
But so you and your partner, your fiance, are in this business together. Are you like the guinea pig when he makes new things?
I think we definitely, I would say, I'm going to speak for me in our restaurant. I think you should definitely try what you're putting out. Mm-hmm. Try everything that you put out because, like I said, we're trying new things every day, and he definitely uses me. He says, you know, is this too salty, or how do you feel about this, or is this cooked just right? And so, yes, I do help him out a lot of times with that. So, and he's had to make adjustments sometimes.
So you guys are like a perfect pair.
I would say so, yeah. I love working with him. I love coming into work, working with my family. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And so I know before the show we were talking a bit of the history of the restaurant. And you wouldn't mind talking about how did you come into the family business and what was your background?
Yeah, for sure. I've worked in veterinary clinics all my life practically. So working with animals and jumping over to food was a big adjustment. Mm-hmm. So I did see the dedication that he put into it. And so I wanted to do the same. I wanted to be helpful and jump on board with that. So I figured the things that I've taken with me, the skills that I've learned from other business owners, I can definitely utilize that and encompass it in my own. And it has definitely been helpful. I mean, I would definitely say to anybody who's wanting to start a business, definitely learn all that you can from, people that have been there and done it and that are successful at it. So it's definitely helped me, and it's been successful so far.
Wow, from veterinary to an owner of a restaurant.
Yeah, tell me about it, right?
Yeah. Would you say that it's an easy process or transition?
No, I don't want to say that it's easy. I would say challenging, in which I like that because I'm definitely up for a challenge. And I know that working with food might seem like it's easy, but when you're cooking for the community, and people have different taste buds, like you said earlier, different palates. So it's harder to figure out what someone likes and for them to come back, you know what I mean? So it's definitely multitasking, customer service, knowing the ins and outs of the business, being versatile with working a cash register and learning how to cook and knowing the inventory. It's so much. And then I do the audit there as well. I do the accounting. So it's different aspects of the business that I had to learn. So it was definitely a challenge. And of course I made mistakes along the way, but guess what? I put myself back in there and I learned, and I stuck it in there. I stuck in there. And so here we are. We're still successful to this day, and I wouldn't change it. I love a challenge.
That's good to hear, because a lot of times when people want to start their own business, they think that all you need is passion, but they forget that it takes dedication, hard work, and sacrifice, and
yes,
not being afraid to make mistakes.
That's right. You can't learn if you never make a mistake. And I thought the same thing. I have to say that the person that is wanting to start, I thought it was going to be easy. I'm gonna make my own schedule and do this, But I saw that I had to dedicate myself to this business. And, sometimes, if you don't have the employees, because life happens, I'm on the opposite end now. I'm the one coming in for the shifts, and I'm there for the business, and I have to learn these things. So it's definitely challenging, interesting, but well worth it in the end, because it has taught me a lot. And that's what I take from it the most, just the overall experience.
Wow. That's amazing. That's good to hear. And your husband or your fiance,
yes.
don't want to step over.
No, it's definitely fine.
Okay. I know you said earlier in the interview that it's always been about community. Like, I don't know if you could speak for him or not, but why is he so focused on community? Why does he want to cook for the community and always be there?
He's such a loving person, and, we've done several things for the community. I know when Flint had their crisis, we had certain things like to where you could bring water in, and we sent that to them. So we just feel like if we're in a position to where we can help, then we definitely want to do that. We want to be there for the community because the community is coming in and giving us something, And so they're giving us their trust because we're cooking for them and it's going into their bodies. And, they're giving us a lot. And so we definitely want to feel like we're matching that. And so I've had, people come in and such as schools. We've had fundraisers for them, the Girl Scouts, which I love. Yeah, okay. We're there for them as well. So we definitely love supporting the community because, here it is. I think you have an obligation once you have a business to support the people that are supporting you.
And that's what Tony and I, we try to have for this radio show. We want to hear about local business owners or people that have their own business, not only to learn about what their business is about, but how can they use their talent and their skills, and how are they contributing back to the community.
That's right.
And I think it's kind of like what you were saying, to touch on it. It's not just having a business, but learning how to be supportive to the people that are supporting you.
That's right.
And that's a really good inspiration. And I think for us, in the focus of the radio station, we would want you to try to focus more on that, on how can we learn from others and we give back to the community. We're still new, kind of like with your business.
Yeah, we're new at it too. You know, we get certain people that come in and, you know, they give us their information. And if it's something that we feel strongly about, helping women in crisis, you know, we've done that. That was one of the things, organizations that we supported as well for different churches. We've done free catering for those, just not only to put ourselves out there, but just to be helpful to the community. So, like I said, that's very important for us, you know.
Wow, I didn't know you guys did that. So, not only with giving back and helping to be there and be supportive, like with the women's group, do you guys like go to different events and just provide your services?
Well, they have a person that is in charge that speaks for them on their behalf, and they come in and they set it up, and you know, they ask, would you be willing to help with this? And most of the time, we are there to help them, and we love offering our services. Now, what we would love to do in the future is go out into the community and do something like that. Like I said, our business is very small. We have a very small staff. So hopefully the goal is to expand and grow so that the owner and I can put ourselves out there in the field and see what's going on, you know, to become more helpful with the schools. I know at one time we did a school drive. That was pretty cool. We did a food drive, which was pretty cool. So we definitely want to become more active in the community and do things like that because, like I said, it's an awesome place where people already know you. You have a name and you have a brand, and they just seem more inclined to support with whatever you're doing. So it's like, hey, we have a voice here. Let's go ahead and, you know, make it known. Like, we need help for these people and these students and these moms, you know, and whoever else, you know, the people in Flint, they need water. So let's use our voice and our brand to help them.
Wow. So as you and your fiance husband run the business, do you all consider yourself successful?
I would say so. We definitely, I mean, the restaurant business is so hard. They warned us in the beginning, is this the business that you want to do? You know, most business fail in the first year, restaurants, you know. And, you know, we knew that was a challenge. And so one thing that my personal opinion is, a lot of people want to put themselves out there by Facebook and Instagram and things like that. You know, I definitely say that those are positive, definitely helpful resources, you know, because people that haven't come to your place, they can go online to Facebook and Instagram and things like that, and they can have the experience without actually being there and say, hey, I think we need to give this place a shot. So like I said, we're new. We didn't have a big budget for advertising, but we kind of just left it up to the community, and, you know, we put ourselves out there, and it actually worked, you know, and it saved us a lot of money to invest back into the business. So I would definitely say make smart decisions if you are a business owner. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and we want the personalized bags and, you know, things like that. But most importantly, you have to stick to the basics. And I find that being simple, people want good taste. They want quality. They want to be treated with respect. And that's it, really. And that's how we've grown so much. And I like that.
Do you see your business going outside of the Portsmouth area and spreading to Hampton Roads?
I would love for that to happen. Like I said, I also do the audit, and I've noticed the growth. I definitely have, and it's amazing to see. And so it's so funny because how we present ourselves, everyone assumes that we're a franchise. They just assume that we're a franchise. And I have to say, no, we're just a small mom and pop, you know, and, you know, this is what we have to offer. And they love it. And so they're like, you should bring your business out to Hampton or Norfolk, or, you know what I mean? And I love hearing that. So it just pushes me to work. It pushes me to work that much harder in going towards our goal of becoming a franchise. So we have our long-term goals.
The reason why I ask that is because a lot of times when businesses are focused on the growth instead of the quality, so quantity instead of quality. They seem to lose themselves in the numbers instead of who they are originally.
That's right.
If you grow more as a business, would you say that you would always be simple to your basic values?
Yeah, I do think that because I think that once you do get to a certain, level, that maybe it's not going to be that personal, but I try to keep it that way. Now, I do want everyone in the 75 cities to enjoy Smoking Q's and enjoy what we have, but we have to be realistic. We can't really stretch ourselves out that much. But I can say that with my employees, the ones that come to me, they are just as dedicated, just as hardworking, and what I see in myself, I see in them. And so I do believe that once we do expand, the way our training process would go, they would get the same, like the small mom and pop that we started off with.
Because your original idea, I think, is fantastic, and the fact that it's small, you can like have it be that much more personalized to your needs and your wants. And say, for example, I think that's how most of the fast food chains got started. They got started with something simple like that.
Right.
And then when they started to grow and expand, that's what I'm concerned about with your restaurant. If you are concerned with growing and expanding even beyond the 757, how do you stay true to your values and that quality of just being simple, like quality, good tasting food, customer service, having that respect?
Yep. I think just finding people that are just as dedicated as you are, that have the same values and wanting to, do right by people, serve the best products, and I believe that there are people out there, I walking onto this fine campus, I got lost, and so there were so many students that were wanting to help me, and like I said, I have students that I employ, and I feel like all they need is a leader to show them, to guide them. And like I said, that is my goal every day, is to lead by example. And so I do feel if we did grow, then they would learn off of me, and I can learn from them. And hey, it would just work, So I think it would just be fine. Yep.
That's interesting that you stated that you have to lead by example, because in my studies, I had to do a research paper on communication. God, I was stressed out over that. Oh my God. And so one of the things about communication that I had to learn about and research was that your words have to match up with your action. If they don't, then the validity of what's being said comes into question. And I think as a leader, I think that's a quality that we should have when you're leading.
I think that as well. And I run across this all the time at the business because, we definitely want to provide all that we have to offer to the customers. But like I said, we're small. And so certain days we don't have certain items. Instead of, deceiving the customer, I feel that being upfront with them and communicating with them and just letting them know.
You can do that?
Yeah, for sure. They're very understanding, and they take it well because they understand that we're small, and they understand that certain days we're cooking at a higher volume, and the process. Remember when I was telling you the process of the meat and the marination? It takes days, and so if we're cooking and the demand for that day is much higher, sometimes. To diffuse an angry customer that is wanting that Smokin' Q sandwich after his hard day of work, I find that, to get him to come back, I have to communicate with him a certain way, and I have to be honest with him. And, I try to allow him to understand. And most of the time when you do break it down, they're perfectly fine with it, and I recommend something else, and they're happy with that, just to see that smile. And I'm like, that's what it is, communicating and being honest in upfront. I find that people take that better than deceiving them or, changing it around and making it work for you. Just being upfront with them, hey, best communication right there.
Wow. Because I know that deception is not always the best way to go, but you find a lot of business practices or owners doing that just to appease their customers. instead of just telling them directly, hey, this is what's going on. That's why I'm a little surprised at what you're saying. And I think the community, they can sense that you're being genuine and honest.
Yes.
And I think that adds to the quality of the food that you have.
I agree. Yep. And most of them, like I said, we have loyal customers, and they understand, you know, we're very small, but the goal is to grow. And we definitely, now we don't want that to happen again. So what we do, we take that and we prepare. So, you know, so the next time that it doesn't happen, so that we won't have to, you know, say that or give you that. But we definitely, you know, learn from our mistakes. And like I said, you know, they help us every day, you know.
And so from those errors, I know that you're not a chef, but would you say that the people who cook the food, that there is some type of sacrifice if they don't have certain ingredients, sacrifice taste over quality or quality over taste?
I believe as a chef, you make it work. Now, I've been in situations because I've watched, you know, I've viewed a lot of things. And when you are a chef, because it's been times to where we've run out of things, but if you are a chef, you can make it work, you know, and come up with a dish, you know, with the ingredients that you have. So, yeah, I believe that you can make anything work.
Interesting. That's why Smokin Q's is the best, and that's why the community they come back to you all, and
they do
help you all with advertising. And see, we've got 7 more minutes, and we had people come. I'm sorry, I didn't even see these people. We have someone ask, what is the most popular item on the menu?
The popular item, there's lots, but I find that everyone seems to love those baby back ribs because, okay, I've been in certain establishments, franchises, and I've ordered ribs before, and they're small, you know what I mean, and you're paying a certain amount for them, but when you come in to Smokin Q's and you order those ribs, you're getting a good cut, like that. The ribs are so big, you know what I mean? And you definitely feel like you've gotten your money's worth. That's why I feel like definitely during dinner, they love that because they're gonna get their fill, you know what I mean? And you get 2 sides, so they love it. The ribs are the best.
How do you do it? Like with the economy and people cutting corners to save money, and you advertise that you have the best and biggest ribs.
Yeah, we have our secret distributor. I mean, but it is within guidelines, so we definitely want to follow those rules. So it is an approved distributor, but yeah, you definitely have to do your research. You know, I would say, you know, don't take what's being offered. If you are a restaurant owner, definitely search and do the work. It's almost like doing research for a paper. You don't want to go off of one source. There's so many different, and then you say, okay, this is what I'm working with. But yeah, we definitely do the research for you and find out what is the best out there, and that's what we serve. So hey, I would definitely say the ribs are the best.
Okay, and so she also asked, do you have crab cakes? And I'd also like to know, like, where do you get your crab meat? Yes,
we do. And this is so important because we serve blue lump crab meat. So I think that is the brand. But most people ask this question. They're like, yeah, I love crab cakes, but I want to know, is it full of fillers?
That's
you know what I
I'm
mean?
thinking.
So
Yes.
I get that a lot. And I'm like, I can show you better than I can explain it. You know what I mean? And guess what? They are return customers because when I say that it's not full of breaders and fillers, it's real crab meat. It's lump crab meat, and they're amazing. You just have to come and try it. Please give us a shot. Come and try it. You will love it. It's served alongside of the remoulade sauce. It's perfect. You can either get it, yes. And that one there, it's like the best way that I can describe it, it's like a Cajun honey Dijon sauce. So yeah, it's the perfect taste with that. And if you don't like that, we have other sauces that you might want to try with it. And so it can be served on a brioche bun or as a dinner with 2 sides.
Ooh,
and you can either have them pan seared, which I love, or you can have them fried.
I'll probably get pan-seared. I'm trying to stay away from fried.
Yeah, we do the Cajun seasoning on the pan-seared. It's really good. Very flavorful.
Wow. So, because I know when people mention crab cakes, it's nothing but a lot of bread filling.
A lot of bread. Yeah, I've had those too, but I can assure you, you're definitely going to get the meat when you come to Smokin' Q's. So, we have a sign. If you did watch that video, it's called the Man Cave. So he's very serious about his meats, whether it's crab meat or, pork. So you're definitely going to get meat when you come there.
And that was going to be my last question before we go. Like, why is he, when advertising, he advertised Real Men Cook with Wood and then the Man Cave? What's the story behind that?
All right, like I told you, I didn't always work at Smokin' Q's. You know, I was somewhere else offering my services. So before it was all men. It was just all men, and I did the decorating, and so the interior design. And Antonio and his mother, D&D, I believe you had them on your.
Oh yes, ma'am.
They did the lovely bar, as you can see in there. They're very amazing. Great. They did an amazing job. Shout outs to D&D Property. What was I saying? Sorry.
You were talking about the history or the story behind the Man Cave.
Yes.
And
so, I'm sorry about that. So, yes, I did the interior design. So, it was all men. And they said, find us a sign that goes well with the slogan. I'm like, really? But yeah, Real Men Cook with Wood. Those guys put in their hard work and dedication, and they wanted that, so I gave them a sign. When I found it, I was like, perfect sign. Mm-hmm. But guess what? It's not a man cave anymore.
No, you're there. And then you have the lovely lady from Iowa, which is way out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, Jill. She's great. Jill's learning. And like I said, she's learning from me. And how did you feel with that, with Jill? Was she great or what?
She was awesome.
Yeah, she was very informative and, great. Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah, she's doing quite well. And like she said, she's used to fish and corn, you know what I mean? So, yeah. And, she definitely loves the food there. And that's how she started. That's how she came in. She came in as a customer. Mm-hmm. So that's how we found Jill.
Nice. Well, that wraps up our show. You have the music?
I do.
I want to thank you for having me on. I really, really enjoyed myself. And thank you to all your listeners with all the questions. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you, Miss Nikita Brown, for being on the show, and also to our listeners. And because it's on YouTube, more people will be able to watch this as well. And hopefully this will be more promotion for your business.
Thank you.
And
plug it one more time.
Oh, yes. Okay, great.
We have a ticket if you wanted to call.
Yes, really don't forget about that free picnic platter. And for that listener, we definitely want you to call in to get that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice business card.
Again, we're at 3218 Stanford Road, Portsmouth, Virginia. We are in the Churchlands Shopping Center, and our phone number is 757-484-7075. And all of this can be found on our Facebook page.
And where can they find you at?
Yes. My Instagram is Turkish Diva, so you can definitely see all my lovely pics that I have there.
So you're Turkish?
Yes. My father is from Istanbul, and my mother here. So yeah, best of what I got.
That is so cool. Turkish.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready? It's not playing.
No? Okay, I know why. My Bluetooth. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. And
It's still not playing. Wow. We apologize for the difficulties again.
Good? No? Okay. We have to hear up?
Yeah,
No?
it's the aux.
Right.
AUX.